ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaste, my dear friends. I am giving you a very important video about the teachings of Annamalai Swami. What is the correct way to pursue self-inquiry? A question was asked to Annamalai Swami. So he replies, Bhagwan has said when thoughts arise, stop them from developing by inquiring to whom is this thought coming. As soon as the thought appears, what does it matter if many thoughts keep coming? Inquire into their origin or find out who has the thoughts, and sooner or later the flow of thoughts will stop. This is how self inquiry should be practiced. First, seal off the entrances and exist to the mind by not reacting to rising thoughts or sense impressions. Don't let new ideas, judgments, likes, dislikes, etc. enter the mind, and don't let rising thoughts flourish and escape your attention. Thoughts need a thinker to pay attention to them and indulge in them. If the thinker withholds his attention from rising thoughts or challenges them before they have a chance to develop, the thoughts will all die of starvation. You challenge them by repeatedly asking, Who am I? Who is the person who is having these thoughts? For it to be effective, you must make it before the rising thoughts has had a chance to develop into a stream of thoughts. You must generate the conviction I am the all pervasive consciousness in which all bodies and minds in the world are appearing and disappearing. I am that consciousness which remains unchanged and unaffected by these appearances and disappearances. Stabilize yourself in that conviction. That is all you need to do. Here, the word thinker is used. Thinker is ego. Ego gives rise to continuous thought from the soul. So we have to have the control over this ego. It should stop thinking about the new thoughts. Then the flow of thoughts will be slowed down. Because in the query, who am I? Here, this I is ego only, not the real I, not the self. So we have to understand who am I, who is the query, am is the existence, and I is the ego. Now, again, another question is put to Annamalai Swami by a devotee. He says, But I am so accustomed to feeling I am this little self, I need help. Little self means ego. The little self will only give way to the real self if you meditate constantly. You cannot visit away with a few stray thoughts. If you can understand that this little self never at any time had any existence outside your imagination, Just like the snake never existed, it was always the rope. You will not be concerned about ways to eliminate it. Your desire for help in eliminating it is part of your problem. Don't make the mistake of imagining there is some goal to be reached or attained. If you think like this, you will start to look for methods and people to help you. This just perpetuates the problem you are trying to end. Instead, cultivate the strong awareness I am the self, I am that, I am Brahma, I am everything. You don't need any method to get rid of the wrong ideas about yourself. All you have to do is stop believing them. The best way to do this is to replace them with ideas which more accurately reflect the real state of affairs. If you think and meditate, I am the self, it will do you a lot more good than thinking, I am the little self. How can I get rid of this little self? Little self means false I or ego. You said that you need help. If you desire to gain a proper understanding of your real nature is intense enough, help will automatically come. If you want to generate an awareness of your real nature, you will be immeasurably helped by having contact with a Jnani. The power and grace which a Jnani radiates quieten the mind and automatically eliminate the wrong ideas you have about yourself. You can make progress by having satsang of a realized guru and by constant spiritual practice. The guru cannot do anything for you. You must practice constantly in order to give up the limiting habits of many lifetimes. Here, Annamalai Swami is talking about a Jnani, a guru, realized soul. But first thing, purify yourself. Please, this is very important. Purify your mind. Do self inquiry in the correct way. A time will come, your soul, your Atma, or God will come as a guru. Sometime God will send a physical guru or your Atma will act as the guru. So do not dishearten yourself that I am not having a physical guru. Once you are going on the right track and you are observing the correct procedure of self inquiry, you will get all the help from divine power, divine forces. Even, even the sages who have left their physical body, they will come and help you. Make sure this is the correct and the 100% truth. See, you take the example of Acharya Sri Ram Sarma, who has founded this Gayatri Parivar. He was helped by a guru who was not in the physical frame but in astral body. That guru used to visit him and guide him. So please make sure first thing you have to start your sadhanas in the right direction as has been told by Maharishi Ramana or Annamalai Swami, Om Sadhu and all these devotees of Maharishi Ramana. You will get. Don't be afraid of that you will not get any guru means the guide. Your atma, even God in many other forms can guide you. So sometimes you may get a physical guru, otherwise don't be disappointed. Once you are observing all the correct procedures, God will help you. God may send a physical guru or God may come in any other form, but you will get the help. Please make sure, and this is 100% correct. Next question was put to Annamalai Swami. How does Maya operate? How is the self concealed from itself? This is a very, very important query. This Annamalai Swami replies, the self, which is infinite power and the source of all power, is indivisible. Yet, within this indivisible self, there are five Shaktis or powers with varying functions which operate simultaneously. The Shaktis are creation, preservation, destruction, veiling. This is the Maya. And grace. The fifth Shakti, grace, contacts, counteracts and removes the fourth Shakti, which is Maya. When Maya is totally inactive, that is when the identity with the body and mind has been dropped. There is an awareness of consciousness of being. When one is established in that state, there is no body, no mind, no world. These three things are just ideas which are brought into an apparent existence when Maya is present and active. The sole effective way to dissolve Maya is the path shown by Bhagwan Maharishi Ramana. One must do self-inquiry and discriminate between what is real and what is unreal. It is the power of Maya which makes us believe in the reality of things which have a reality. If you ask, what are these imaginary things? The answer is everything that is not the formless self. The self alone is real. Everything else is a figment of our imagination. It is not helpful to inquiry why there is Maya and how it operates. If you are in a boat which is leaking, you don't waste time asking whether the hole was made by an Italian, a Frenchman, or an Indian. You just plug the leak. Attempting to find the origin of Maya with your mind is doomed to fail because any answer you come up with will be a Maya answer. Es- Establish yourself in the self, then watch how Maya takes you over each time you fail to keep your attention there. See, we must establish the must establish faith in our Atma. Atma is omnipotent. So once you have the real faith in your Atma, the veiling Shakti that is called Maya, it will be weakened and it can be removed completely by the Atma. So do not dishearten yourself. This Maya is actually non-existent. Maya is, you know, it is the Shakti. It is the power of Brahma. So But you just divert this Maya to follow Atma and not the vice versa. Do not force your Atma to follow Maya, then you will be in all sorts of problems. So, force this Maya to follow your Atma. So, automatically it will vanish. This is the simple procedure. See, Maya is originated from the self only. Self is omnipotent, infinite. It has infinite power. So it is part of self only. So definitely this Maya is also very powerful. It has power because it is coming from the self, which is omnipotent. So a question was put to Annamalai Swami. The devotee asked, if Maya is a Shakti, what exactly is this Shakti? Shakti is energy or power. It is a name for the dynamic aspect of the self. Shakti and Shanti are two aspects of the same consciousness. If you want to separate them at all, you can say that Shanti is the unmanifest aspect of self, which Shakti is the man- manifest. But really, they are not separate. A flame has two properties, light and heat. The two cannot be separated. They are like the sea and the waves. Shanti is the vast, unmoving body of water. The waves that appear and move on the surface are Shakti. Shanti is merciless, vast, and all encompassing. White Shakti is active. You can say this Maya is kinetic energy, and Shanti is the potential energy. Potential energy means at rest. Kinetic energy means in motion. So the Shakti of self, when it is dynamic, when it is infested with the kinetic energy, so this becomes the Maya because it will create many wailing and confusing aspect. So it is very powerful. But with patience, we have to convince ourselves that this Maya is in no way helpful in spiritual pursuits. So we must stop this to act on the self. If we allow this Maya to play, it may create havocs and it may displace our self-inquiry and it creates haphazard. So we must convince this Maya to stop acting against the pursuit of self-inquiry. Further, Bhagavan used to say that after realization, the Jivan Mukta experiences Shanti within and is established permanently in that Shanti. Shanti means tranquility, peace. After realization, this Maya will stop acting. In the state of realization, he sees that all activities are caused by Shakti, that is dynamic, that is kinetic. After realization, one is aware that there are no individual people doing anything. Instead, there is an awareness that all activities are the Shakti of the same self. The Jnani is one who is fully established in the Shanti or the peace and is always aware that Shakti is not separate from him. In that awareness, everything is his self and all actions are his. The universe is controlled by the one Shakti, sometimes called Parmeswara Sakti, the power of the Supreme Lord. This moves and orders all things. Natural laws, such as the laws that keep the planets in their orbits, are all manifestation of this Sakti. And next, another question is put to Annamalai Swami. If everything is the self, even Maya, then why can't I see the self? See, if something's lying at the bottom of a water pot, if the water is having waves and some dirt put in that, you cannot see the object lying at the bottom of that pot. But when the water is pure and there are no disturbances in the water, that time you can see the pot. Same way, due to various reasons, due to vasanas, due to continuity of thoughts, due to this maya, because these act as veiling power. So, due to the veils created by these factors, we are not able to see our Atma. So, what Annamalai Swami says, listen, because you are looking in the wrong direction. You have the idea that the self is something that you see or experience. This is not so. The self is the awareness or the consciousness in which the seeing and experiencing takes place. Even if you don't see the self is still there. First, we have to have faith in this reality. Bhagwan sometimes remarked humorously, people just open a newspaper and glance through it. Then they say, I have seen the paper. But really, they have not seen the paper. They have only seen the letters and pictures that are on it. There can be no words or pictures without the paper. But people always forget the paper while they are reading the words. Same way, we are completely indulge ourselves in the thoughts, in the maya, in the egoistic attitude. So, due to these wills, we are not able to see or experience this Atma. While people see the names, while people see the names and forms that appear on the screen of consciousness, they ignore the screen itself. If people were to be aware of the consciousness instead of the form that appear in it, they would realize that all forms are just appearances which manifest within the one indivisible consciousness. The consciousness is the self that you are looking for. You can be that consciousness, but you can never see it because it is not something that is separate from you. Another question is asked, how do I know if I am progressing in my meditation? This is the question put frequently to any sage. See, this is a very simple way. When you are having less thoughts. That is one indication. When you feel glimpses of peace and happiness, this is the another indication that you are progressing. And when you are having no wailing thoughts, no vibratory actions, that means you are progressing. Now let us see what Annamalai Swami replies. Those who meditate a lot often develop a subtle form of ego. This is what ego means. You are having lot of thoughts. The frequency of thoughts is increased. They become pleased with the idea that they are making progress. They become pleased with the states of peace and bliss that they enjoy. They become pleased that they have learned to exercise some control over their wayward mind, or they may derive some satisfaction that they have found a good guru or a good method of meditation. All these feelings are ego feelings. When ego feelings are present, awareness of the self is absent. The thought, I am meditating, is an ego thought. If real meditation is taking place, this thought cannot arise. Don't worry about whether you are making progress or not. Just keep your attention on the self 24 hours a day. Meditation is not something that should be done in a particular position at a particular time. It is an awareness and an attitude that must persist throughout the day. To be effective, meditation must be continuous. If you want to water a field, you dig a channel to the field and send water continuously along it for a lengthy period of time. If you send water for only 10 seconds and then stop, the water sinks into the ground even before it reaches the field. You will not be able to reach the self and stay there without a prolonged continuous effort. Each time give up trying or get distracted, some of your previous efforts goes to waste. You divide your life up into different activities. I am eating, I am meditating, I am working, etc. If you have ideas like these, you are still identifying with the body. Get rid of all these ideas and replace them with the single thought, I am the self. Hold on to that idea and don't let go. Don't give these I am the body idea any attention. Learn to recognize them in the moment they arise or deny them. Stay firmly in the self and don't allow the mind to identify with anything that the body does. Another question is put to Annamalai Swami. My mind is unstoppable. How do I bring it to the self? When it rises, the mind automatically goes out into the world. If you do self-inquiry, you can train it to flow towards to the self. In deep sleep, the mind automatically goes to the self, but you are not aware of it. Through the steady practice of self-inquiry, the mind can be trained in such a way that it automatically flows towards the self in the waking and dream states. It is very difficult at first, but with practice it can be done. Repeated self-inquiry makes the mind go back into the self. Other methods may produce good experiences, but the good experiences will not make the mind go back into the self and stay there. See, use the positive affirmative method. What is that? Sit for meditation, close your eyes, see that there is no external disturbance, there is no noise. Then convince your mind or your ego, say like this, repeat like this, contem contemplate like this. I am going slowly and steadily inward, deeper, deeper, and deeper. I am nearing the spiritual heart now. I have reached the gate of the spiritual heart. Now I am going to enter the spiritual heart. I have entered the spiritual heart, and now I am I am merging with the Atma. Here this I is ego. Remember this, ego is nothing but the modification of mind. When you say I am going inwardly, slowly and steadily, make sure this includes your mind, your intellect, your ego, and any other modification of mind. So, mind, along with its modifications, is compelled and convinced to move inwardly towards the spiritual heart and say, I am merging with the soul, and subsequently, my Atma is merging with the Brahma. Dear friend, this is the most important procedure. Your thoughts will cease to rise continuously. Maya will spo- uh, stop its place. Ego will be reduced to just completely powerless. Very, very nice method. You just, have positive affirmations like this when you are sitting in the meditation. Again, repeat. I am going inwardly deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper, and going towards the spiritual heart, entering the spiritual heart, and merging with the self, merging with the Atma, and in turn, Atma is merging with the Brahma. Please, please have this experience. You will you will definitely, you will definitely have a good progress in the self-inquiry. Next question is put to Annamalai Swami. Is it good to devote some time to stay healthy? See, when our body is not healthy, so our whole attention will be towards the body only. So it is a good thing. We must keep our body healthy. A healthy body will have a sound mind. So if the body is healthy, your 50% problems are solved. Otherwise, if the body is not healthy, your 50% power will be dissipated in the thinking about the body pain. There is pain here, there is stomach is there, headache is like this, then your complete progress in the self-inquiry will be disturbed and hampered. So it is a very nice thing. And for keeping the body healthy, just keep watch on your diet. You eat sattvic food in less quantity. If you eat sattvic food but in bulk, that is also harmful. So eat sattvic food and in proper quantity. Now let us come to the question answer. Is it good to devote some time to stay healthy? Now, Maharaj, this Annamalai Swami replies, it is difficult to do sadhana if the body is not in good condition. Hatha yoga is one way of staying healthy. Bhagwan used to say, however, that of all the different asanas, Nididhasana is the best. He would then add the Nididhasana means abidance in the self. Don't pay too much attention to the body. If you worry about the well-being of your body, you identify with it more and more. Look at it as a useful vehicle, maintain it, fuel it properly, and repair if it breaks down. But don't become attached to it. If you can keep your attention on the self without being distracted by unpleasant bodily sensations, you are healthy enough to do sadhana. If you do your meditation earnestly and continuously, you will begin to find that health problems will not distract you. When your abidance in the self is firm and strong, you cease to be aware of the body and its pains. We must take care of the body by giving it food, shelter, and clothing. This is necessary because the journey to the self is only easy when the body is healthy. If a ship is not if a ship is not in need of repair, it is in good condition. We can easily use it to go on a journey, but you should not forget the purpose for which we have been given this body. Or our purpose in life is to realize the self. It is an easy matter to get a little food and find somewhere congenial to live and meditate. Once we have achieved this, we should have to further interest in the world and its problems. Next question. Forgetfulness of the self is a big problem for me. Annamalai Swami replies, forgetfulness of the self happens because of non-inquiry. So I say, remove the forgetfulness through inquiry. Forgetfulness or not forgetfulness is not a part of your destiny. It is something you can choose from moment to moment. That is what Bhagwan said. He said that you have the freedom either to identify with the body and its activities, and in doing so forget the self, or you can identify with the self and have the understanding that the body is performing its predestined activities, animated and sustained by the power of the self. If you have an oil lamp and you forget to put oil in it, the light goes out. It was your forgetfulness and your lack of vigilance that caused the fight to go out. Your thoughts were elsewhere. They were not on tending the lamp. In every moment, you only have one real choice: to be aware of the self or to identify with the body and the mind. If you chose the latter course, don't blame God or God's will or predestination. God did not make you forget the self. You yourself are making that choice every second of your life. Next question is put, if you remain in the self, inquiry will not be necessary. If you move away from the now this is the continuity of the answer by Annamalai Swami. If you remain in the self, inquiry will not be necessary. If you move away from the self and go back to the mind, you then have to inquiry again and go back to yourself. Who is this I? It is neither the body nor the mind. If you remain as the self, there is neither body nor mind. So, what is the I? Inquire into it and find out for yourself. When you see the rope, what happens to the snake? Nothing happened to it because there never was a snake. Similarly, when you remain as the self, there is a knowing that this I never had any existence. All is the self. And you are not separate from the self. All is you. Your real state is the real, and in that state there is no body and no mind. This is the truth, and you know it by being it. This I am the body idea is wrong. This false idea must go, and conviction I am the self should come to the extent that it becomes constant. At the moment that this I am the body idea seems very naturally for you, you should work to the point where I am the self becomes natural to you. It happens when the wrong idea of being the body goes, and when you stop believing it to be true, it vanishes as darkness vanishes when the sun appears. This life is all a dream within a dream within a dream. We dream this world, we dream that, we die and take birth in another body, and in this birth we dream that we have dreams. All kinds of pleasures and sufferings alternate in these dreams, but a moment comes when waking up happens. In this moment, which will call realizing the self, there is the understanding that all births, all the deaths, and all the sufferings, and all the pleasures were unreal dreams that have finally come to an end. Bhagwan has instructed us in Who Am I to see the whole world as a dream. When a realization comes, nothing will affect you because you will have the firm knowledge that all manifestation is an unreal dream. Now, Annamalai Swami's final words. If you stumble around in the darkness of your mind, not knowing that you have a torch in your hand, that light is the light of the self. Switch it on and leave it on, and you will never stumble again. You are all here because there is a desire in you to realize the self. This desire does not arise randomly or accidentally in some people and not in others. It is there because of the punyas, that is good acts, that may have come from meditation, charitable words, and so on. These punyas will manifest as a desire for freedom, a desire to do earnest sadhana, a desire to find a good teacher in whose presence the truth will be taught and revealed. If someone is destined to be jnani in this life, it means that he has come to this final birth with a mountain of punyas to his credit. These punyas will take him to real guru, to a real satsang, and in this environment he will do sadhana and achieve the goal. If one does not have this mountain of punyas from the past, there will be no desire for freedom, no desire to look for a guru who can deliver it. The self is readily available all the time, but we cannot be aware of it or even put our attention on the thought of it because our vasanas are continuously leading our interest and attention in other directions. That's why it is so important to have the awareness. I am not the mind, I am the self. You have to forcibly drag your wandering attention back to the self. Each time it shows an interest in going anywhere else. Don't be interested in the words that the mind is serving up for you. It is putting them there to tempt you into a stream of thoughts that will take you away from the self. You have to ignore them all and focus on the light that is shining within you. I ask you to put all your attention, all your interest on realizing this final teaching. I am not the body or the mind, I am the self, all is the self. This is Bhagwan's final teaching. Nothing more needs to be added to it. Keep in good company while you pursue this knowledge, and all will be well. This was the final teaching of Bhagwan as well as Annamalai Swami. So, my dear friend, thank you for watching and listening this video. Please like, comment, and share this video and subscribe my channel. This is your channel, my dear friend. Thank you. Namaste. Namaste.